Alright guys, welcome to the part 3 of this video. So I'm really excited that you guys have followed along from the part 1, 2, and this is the final part, and this is where it gets more interesting. So I'm not going to be adding much of instruments because this is just a tutorial purpose. This is just for a tutorial purpose. So otherwise I would have added more instruments just to accompany the verse. So this is not a professional job. So this is just me singing. I'm not a singer. So had it been I'm working for an artist, I would have done it better than I have done here. So there are other things I can still do, like the guitar. I can still do articulations to make it sound real. Then the bass, I can still do some variations, then do some maybe different patterns. I can also add a bell, then the organ. So what I'm just doing here is just to give you that idea how everything it's done. The verse remains the same, so I can duplicate the verse, then I can still bring the intro again before the chorus. That's for the bridge, so I can do it any way I want it to be, but this is a tutorial. This is just for tutorial purposes, so let's just keep it basic. So since I've gotten everything set up like this, I'm not going to mix with all my plugins loaded in. So I'll advise you when you're doing your own beat, because I'm not going to be there, so try to solo every instrument one after the other, hear how they sound before you start mixing them. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take away all of the effects I have added here. So I only added the effects for me to be able to enjoy the beat as I'm creating it, because once you're enjoying it, you're getting the vibes and it's making you want to do more. So I'm just going to reset the whole tracks. So everything, it's gone. So the next thing I want to do, I'm going to come over to tools, macros, and then I'm going to purge unused audio. So what it does is that any audio that I'm not using in the playlist is not gonna be there. So right now I'm going to remove this Fruity limiter. So now, as you can see, our tracks are really basic. So I'm just going to remove all. I'm just going to select all of them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add them again to the mixer. Now you notice here that we have addictive drums. As you can see, all of the instruments are just coming out of let me just play so I see what I'm talking about. You can see all of the instruments, the kick, the snare, hi-hat, all of them are just coming out from here. So I want to split that out. So how I'm going to do that, this is not a tutorial for addictive drums, but I'm just going to do it so that you can learn it, because I've got requests for this kind of stuff before. So I'm going to come over to edit, then I'll come over here, this arrow. So I'll just click on it, and I'm going to say separate out plus master. So I'm just going to do that for all of them. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come over to detail settings, then I'll come over to miscellaneous, and I'm going to come over to processing, and now I'm going to click on auto map. So if I play this, so as you can see, this is the kick. That's the snare. If you don't want to do it this way, you can actually come over here and maybe you mix them if certain of them are too loud, you understand, or you can fix them how you want it to be. So you can just click on snare, maybe change them, thumb, you do as you want, but I'm just going to do it my own way. So right now I have all of them out. So let me just check one more time if it's actually all of them. Okay, that's all. So the next thing I want to do is to export them into a folder. So I'll export. So we are exporting as a WAV file. So I'm just going to create a new folder. So I'm just going to click on export. So I'm exporting in 24-bit 512.sync, high quality for all plugins. So the last thing I'm going to check is split mixer track. So take note of your tempo and make sure you're exporting in stereo and it's full song, cut remainder. Yeah, so I'm going to save the FLP for you guys to download. So you can click on the link, it will take you to hbsbeats.com. You can do whatever you want with the FLP once you get it. So you're not going to get it for free because I've put my whole time teaching you how to do this stuff. So you have to support me by signing up for my membership to download this FLP. Just going to create a new project. So I have to drag all of them down inside the playlist. So it's not all of them that we are going to be needing. So we'll remove the ones we don't need. So first of all, I'm just going to drag it down. Then I'll set the tempo. Remember our tempo is 80. So the current, I don't need that one. This is the addictive drums. The boss, I don't need that. The master, I don't need it. Most of the empty tracks, you don't need them. So I'm just deleting them. So I'm just going to mix the beat and then come back and explain everything I have done. That's because I don't want to mix on headphones. So I just finished mixing the beat. So as you can see, I had to cut anywhere that there is no information. Like as you can see, it's actually empty. So I just had to cut all of them. So this is what we have here now. So this is the whole project. So this tutorial you've been following from part 1, 2, and this is the final part. They are just demos. These are not the real deal. So if you want to get the real deal, you need to sign up for my private lessons on hbsbeats.com. If you don't know how to go about it, you can contact me directly on WhatsApp. My number is in the description of this video. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot, trust me. I do the Afrobeat, rock, any genre of music you want to learn, trap, whatever it is, you can sign up for my lessons. So as you can see, I added them all over to the mixer. So I just had to click here. I've selected all of them. Then I came over here, right clicked, and I came over to channel routing. Then I say route selected channel starting from this track. So it routed all of them to this track. So I'm going to be very fast in this tutorial because I don't want it to be very long. So as you can see here, I created percussion bus for the loops that we created at the beginning. Then this is the guitar. All the guitars are routed to this bus. The drums are routed also. So I also have a reverb here just for the vocals. I'm sorry about the way the vocal sounds. If it were to be a professional singer, my God, you're gonna enjoy the whole of this work we have started together. Quickly, how I write out this bus. So I just had to select the instrument. So I'm holding Control and Shift. I selected, like for the guitars, I selected all the guitars just like this. I came down here, right clicked and say route to this track. So all the guitars are playing on this bus. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play the whole mix before I explain everything I need to explain. So without the vocals. All right, with the vocals now. When I think of all you've done for me, oh God, my words won't be enough, but to sing your praise every day. Morning by morning, new mercies I sing, oh Lord. You've turned my sorrows into joy. Hey, my sins are washed away. My life, you have made it brand new. Lover of my soul, that's who you are. My everything, oh God, yeah. Like I said, I'm going to be fast about this one. So if you have any questions, you can drop it in the comments just below. So I started off with the kick. So the kick, it's more important to me. The kick and the bass, they are the most important. So I started off with the kick. So as you can see, I'm routing the kick to the drum board. So I've added a transient processor. If you don't know what a transient processor is, let me use this as an example. So as you can see, how do I put it? I'm looking for Okay, as you can see, this is where the snare ended. So all this tail are the transients. So I just had to make that short instead of you understand, it's gonna do . So I don't know how I'm gonna explain this, but I bet you should understand. Okay, so the next thing I added over the kick was the Chris Lodge. This is actually a compressor. So if you want to learn more about compression, you can subscribe to my courses. So I'm compressing the kick. So I added also an EQ. So I had to boost the part I like, and I had to cut a little bit of the part I don't like. So I'm not going to be going into details because it's going to make the video so long, but that's how you EQ. You cut and boost. So the next instrument I did later on was the bass. So the bass, I added this actually bass plugin from Waves. This also the compression and also the EQ just to cut that muddy low frequency. Then later on I moved to the percussions. So as you can see, I didn't really do much in the percussions. So where I did much was for the boss. So as you can see, I'm actually doing a high cut on the EQ. Then this is actually a compressor, transient, delay. So let me just and also a reverb. So that's basically what I did there. Then also for the guitar, I added an EQ just to cut that low frequency. Also this is another plugin. It's a compressor, delay, reverb. So for the drums, I've showed you that reverb. So I'm using Valhalla reverb with the mode chamber preset. I'm using a default. Then also I'm cutting the low frequency of the reverb. So I don't know if you understand. Maybe I should just do a high boost for the reverb. Then maybe I'm boosting around 10k just to get that brightness from the reverb. Okay. And basically that's all I did. So I just cut and boost the frequency that I like, added delay. So I'm going to drop this project data. You can download it and see everything. Maybe you can learn from it. I'll be dropping the FLP data, including these stems, so that you don't need to worry if you have the plugin I use or not. So you're just going to see how it has been mixed. So as you can see, I have nothing on the master, and you can see my output level is fine. So you're going to check the gain. So as you can see, I'm not clipping. When I think of all you've done for me, oh God, my words won't be. So quickly, let's go over to the mastering of this beat. So I'm going to export. You come over to file, export it without the effects on the master. So we are going to be doing the mastering, so we don't need any effects on the master. So make sure I'm exporting in the highest point sync. So I'll just go ahead and then export. As you can see, we are at the mastering process. So I just have to reduce, to shift the project back a little bit so it doesn't just start immediately. So the next thing I want to do is to create automation clip just for the master. That is to fade the song when it gets to this point. Gonna do that for the intro also. So as you can see, if I should widen this a little or more, you're gonna notice our peak level Some of them are really sharp, so we need to compress the hell out of that to make it stable. So the first thing I want to do is to bring the track over to the mixer. So I'm just going to click on it and Ctrl L. So I always master with the loudest part of the song. So as you can see, the chorus is the loudest part. So I just have to reduce it a little bit because I don't want it to pass minus 3 dB. So I'm actually checking so that I can have headroom to boost loudness. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is to add an EQ. So I'm going to be using an EQ from Waves, so it doesn't matter which EQ you use. So let me just use an EQ, a linear phase EQ. So the first thing I want to do is to cut away the low frequency. So I'm going to be using a high pass actually. So for the frequency, I want to be cutting up to around let's say 35. So always bypass. So this is the secret. This stuff I just did here is going to make the track clear. If you notice it's too much, maybe I can go back to 30. The next I want to cut that high frequency. So I'm just going to select this particular one. So I'm just going to turn off the EQs that I'm not using. So I want to work on this one. So I'm going to use a resonant low shelf, and I'm going to select the frequency. So let's say around the 15K. 15K should be fine, but you just have to listen. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of gain. I'm just gonna cue it a little bit. Yes. The next thing I want to do, I want to cut around let's say 200, just a little bit. So I want to add a tape meshing. So I'm going to be using chroma tape. So I'm just going to make sure I'm not crossed this red. So I'll do that by reducing the record level. So I'm just going to select the speed to see which one works better.